Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you could find us and share the service with us today. The hardest part is speaking without seeing your faces. With our current changes, I find it helpful to take the time to pay attention to the small things. This week, I had to go get some groceries. I was apprehensive. I wasn't sure how many people were going to be there. Am I exposing myself, worrying about it? And when I came out, the parking lot was empty. It was very quiet. It was sunny and windy, and the most beautiful bird song was happening. I looked around for it. There was a small bird. I thought for sure it would be very colorful because the song was so beautiful, but a little bird, almost the same color as the tree without any leaves on it. He was singing his heart out, and it made my heart lighter just to know that things can still be there that we can appreciate and that they make us smile in difficult times. Our theme today is the web we weave. Bonnie Whitehurst will take us through the music, and Linda Mandano will share some words of inspiration. Our speaker today is Robin Saenger, an artist, former vice mayor, and founding director of Peace for Tarpon, making Tarpon Springs the first trauma-informed community in the United States. You'll see her walking around town with her cowboy hat and her dog, Fia.
Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Our first hymn is Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. And this week the words are on your screen, and I encourage everyone at home to sing along. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Don't be afraid of some change. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. I'd like to now introduce Linda Mandano to give us some words of inspiration.
This is a Chinese proverb. A farmer and his son had a horse who helped their family earn a living. One day, the horse ran away. The neighbors exclaimed, "What terrible luck!" The farmer said, "Maybe so, maybe not. We'll see." The next day, the horse returned home bringing a few wild mares. Now the villagers exclaimed, "What great luck!" But the farmer replied, maybe so, maybe not. We'll see. Later that week, the farmer's son was thrown from one of the horses. The villagers said, "Your son broke his leg. What terrible luck." And the farmer said, "Maybe so, maybe not. We'll see." A few weeks later, soldiers from the National Army came to town recruiting boys to fight. But because of his broken leg, they did not take the farmer's son. "Your boy is spared," the villagers said. "What tremendous luck." The farmer once again said, "Maybe so, maybe not. We'll see." I read this proverb many years ago, and it had a deep impact on me. It often pops into my mind during difficult times, and it has these past weeks. This proverb teaches me once again that life is unpredictable, and how much energy and worry and judgment I spend on situations I have no control over or know the outcome of, like right now with a deadly virus sweeping the globe. It's not the inconveniences that frighten or trouble me, but it is the not knowing what is to come. And I am frightened. I am afraid for myself, for those I love and care for, and others outside my circle and in the world. The other day, Dimitri asked me how I was doing. And I had this image of myself standing quietly still, like a tree, deeply rooted in the earth as a hurricane swirled around me. And I thought, that's our challenge, to be that tree, to know we are rooted in the earth, quietly standing and confident that through these roots, we are connected to each other, supporting one another. And in our togetherness, in our stillness, the hurricane can roar around us. We will now have a moment of silence.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Oh, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots won't be closed, winds set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. I have some special music today. I found a beautiful song that enhances our message, the interdependent web. As often happens, I stumbled upon this song while on YouTube, and I looked everywhere for the composer's name so I could give them a shout out, but I could not find it. So therefore, I can't give that composer credit, but I will sing for you now, The Web of Life. Beautiful, strong, endless connection. weaving our web with grateful hearts, celebrating all that is, caring for all of life. Beautiful, strong, endless connecting, winding from one to another, colorful web, changing and growing, holding us fast in life, holding us fast in life. The offering for the work and the welfare of this church will now be given and received. Please go to our website, uutarpon.org, and make your offering, or please send your check to 57 Reed Street. The complete address is on your screen. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. At this time, I would like to introduce our speaker for the day with a message, Robin Saenger.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be with you virtually. It's always wonderful to be with you all in real life, but this will have to do for now. Today, I'd like to share with you a little bit about Peace for Tarpon. I'm sure many of you have heard of it, but I think it aligns very well with the theme of today's web of life and connectedness, and I think that this will be a good kind of tie-in with that. So Peace for Tarpon is, I can tell you a few things about it. It's a pretty big story to tell in just a few minutes, but some of the highlights I'd like to share with you is what the 4, it's Peace number 4 Tarpon, and the 4 in Peace for Tarpon stands for connect, inform, transform, and heal. So we know that a connected community, when we're connected and we're in relationship with one another, that then we can inform one another of our experiences, difficult situations, and so forth. Because Peace for Tarpon's root is dealing with largely trauma in many forms, but largely unaddressed childhood trauma and how that plays out over the course of a lifetime. And we see that in our relationships, our interpersonal relationships, business relationships, in our society, and in our world. So connect, inform, and then transformation can happen as we learn to be with one another in safety and trust. And then healing can happen. We believe that trauma is a universal experience. And I know that with this pandemic, we're experiencing a different type of trauma. To me, it reminds me something akin to when a hurricane is coming, and we're not quite sure how that's going to look or how it might affect us or other parts of our state. But when the hurricane is coming, at some point it's over. This is more being on pause for a long period of time. And it's very difficult to process that. It's a very challenging time. So this time of connection is extremely important. When we were working with Peace for Tarpon, we're a volunteer organization. We have an education team and a marketing team. And our marketing team was trying to come up with a symbol for what would represent us. And we were looking for a symbol of strength and resilience. And the symbol that came to us, and this is courtesy of one of our community partners, Mary Sharrow, is the red mangrove. We find brilliance in our community partners. Now, we have partners with many agencies and with the city and with the library and so forth, but Mary Sharrow came up with the idea of the red mangrove, and this beautiful image that you see was designed by one of our marketing members named Chris Gregg, who's an artist here in town. And the red mangrove is a very special symbol because one of the things we learned about the red mangrove is that it is a survivor. It is a survivor. It transforms toxic salt water into fresh water in its root system. It cleans pollutants from the water. It not only stops shoreline erosion, but it actually rebuilds the shoreline. It's a better carbon scrubber than terrestrial forests. And I've heard that when hurricanes come, if a ship is moored to the red mangrove, the root system allows that ship to weather the storm in a very unique way. So we feel that this is a very special symbol for us and a symbol of community resilience. We have the most shoreline of any community in Pinellas County. And if anywhere along our bayous and at our beaches, you can see the red mangroves everywhere. So it's a constant reminder of who we are and that we together are a very resilient community. Now, in these challenging times, we've had to learn to be with each other in a different way. And I'd like to share a story with you about two of our members who are not only showing resilience, but have built that special relationship that I spoke of earlier to really support each other in a unique way. And I asked if their permission to share this story, and they both agreed. So I'll tell you about Connie and Shannon. They're both on our board of directors. Connie's a retired minister from the retired chaplain rather from the hospital, and Shannon works with youth for the Suncoast of the YMCA, also one of our great partners. And Shannon has recently been laid off because of this pandemic, so she has a little more time on her hands. Well, Connie and Shannon have connected in a way that's very, very unique and beautiful and is a very strong relationship. Connie lost her husband not long ago. She's on her own. She lives kind of out in the country. And Shannon, as it turns out, lives very close by. So they are able to, with careful social distancing, spend time together, share stories, to be with each other in a very safe way. And it's even come to be that Shannon's daughter has come over and has helped Connie gather the eggs from her chickens out behind her house. So this is just a very simple story of how we can be together in relation and how at times of challenge and crisis, even the smallest things can mean so much. Our motto is offer the peace you can, offer the peace to the solution that you can. So large or small, Shannon and Connie are offering their peace. Chris Gregg offered the piece of the red mangrove that she created. And don't underestimate the power that small acts of kindness and love and compassion can do for one another. So I'll leave you with those thoughts, and till we meet again.
Our second hymn is from the Gray Unitarian Hymnal. We celebrate the web of life. We celebrate the web of life, its magnitude we see. extinguish our virtual chalice. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy.
UUA President Reverend Susan Frederick Gray shares this. This pandemic is a powerful reminder of our fundamental interdependence, that we are all connected and mutually dependent on each other for our well-being. As Unitarian Universalists, we know this truth, but in response to this pandemic, it is ever more important that we live the practices of interdependence and community care. We are bound to one another locally and globally, and each person's health and wholeness rests in keeping the web of community strong. I'd like to thank our Sunday gathering team, and that includes Bonnie, Tommy Frame for recording, Robin for her sharing, and Kathy Hopkins for mastering Zoom for our production. Please be sure to check the e-news and the quill this week for changes and details of events. There should also be something in there for you to attend the social hour via Zoom. Stay safe and well, and find joy on your way.